Hello, everyone. Before this podcast begins, I would like to discuss the topic of Black Lives Matter. Now, obviously, it's no secret. Everyone knows about the whole situation involving the death of George Floyd and everything that has been going on since then with the Black Lives Matter movement, which it's pretty crazy to me that, throughout so many decades, we've seen so many people like Martin Luther King. We've seen Rosa Parks do all these incredible things to kind of bring up the black community. And we've even seen so many people succeed as black people. Jimi Hendrix, Michael Jackson. The greatest basketball player of all time is a black person in Michael Jordan. Around all of those things that have happened, somehow black lives to some people's eyes still don't matter. Now, obviously, a lot of people had participated this past Tuesday on the Blackout Tuesday, which I was one of those people. We all had our profile pictures black for Blackout Tuesday in support of the black community. And of course, there are people out there who also use the All Lives Matter hashtag, but at the same time, I'll admit first that I did use the All Lives Matter hashtag in my post, but I later deleted it because it had come to a realization that realistically, all lives actually don't matter until Black Lives Matter. I think it's time that we all treat everyone equally, whether you are white, black, Asian, Muslim, Jew, the list goes on. But right now, Black lives matter. Black lives need to matter before all lives matter for this whole thing to work. And, I know a lot of black people. There's a lot of Funko YouTubers, actually, that are black. MD's neighbor is black. But we treat everyone the same. And I don't know, after so long, how people can still treat black people with so much disrespect. And I know people, are going out right now, they're protesting, but they're also there's some people who are destroying stores and stuff, which it's cool that you are supporting the black community. That's amazing. But I don't think that kind of violence is the way that we should be, promoting this whole thing. And I think that this whole thing has been a huge life lesson that I think from now on, everyone needs to treat people equally. Everyone needs to be treated equally. Black lives matter. That's basically all I'm going to say. Black lives matter in order for all lives to matter. Treat black lives the same as you would treat your own kind. Hopefully my little PSA here was a little bit reasonable. I tried to think of as much stuff as possible. And actually, in our description below, before you actually read the actual description for today's podcast, will be the links for the Black Lives Matter website and the GoFundMe page for George Floyd, in which I will say right now that this podcast will be dedicated to George Floyd and the rest of his family. And of course, the whole black community. So stay safe. Treat everyone the same. Black Lives Matter.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's edition, we don't have a lot going on, but there are a few segments. Of course, there'll be the return of the Quentin Quarantino and Pandem News segment. And then we got ourselves the last set of May 2020 Funko Pop announcements that we missed on last week's episode. We also have our segment called The Update, in which we update our top 10 list. And we got ourselves the June 2020 announcements to talk about today. Yes, there are only two so far because of kind of the world situation, I would assume, this past week. So let's kick off with Quentin Quarantino, which those brand new to the podcast, we basically discuss what kind of movies we've been watching or TV shows or video games we played during this quarantine due to the pandemic. So MD, what have you been doing the last week or two since we haven't had this segment in a few weeks?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty much been the same as the last one we did. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go, especially with the new event that just came out yesterday, which is pretty tough actually, because on the second page of it, one of the things is do 15 raids, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm on that also. I'm like 15 raids? Like what? Like I can hatch
Yeah,
15 eggs no problem if I get like a bunch of 2K eggs. But 15 raids though. And especially trying to find, especially for me, like 2-star raids because that's as high as they can go by myself. Otherwise, I need a huge group to conquer one of those 5-star raids.
yeah, exactly. Like you said, the eggs, it's pretty simple. Me and a couple of my buddies, we bought like the adventure box where it gives you all the super incubators. So that was super easy. But then the 15 raids, I'm gonna work on that as soon as this is done. I'm gonna go out and play some Pokemon Go. I've also been golfing a lot. I believe I said that last time too. I've been going golfing about 3 times a week now that golf is actually open, which is super awesome. But besides that, really that's about it for new shows that I've been watching. Last night I just started rewatching Full House because why not? What else have I been watching? I feel like there was something else that I was watching, but I can't remember. I haven't been doing a whole lot, honestly.
I'm going to talk about, I think, the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, a lot of my watchings of Netflix series or Disney Plus series have been on Funko Pop announcements. So, there'll be a Funko Pop announcement. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go rewatch this or whatever. So, I watched X-Men, X2, and X-Men The Last Stand because of the recent 20th anniversary announcements, which is pretty sick. I also rewatched Edward Scissorhands, which it was awesome to rewatch that again because it was on Disney Plus. I think I've mentioned this probably a few weeks ago the last time, but I was rewatching 13 Reasons Why for the first to third season because actually, as this gets released, the fourth and final season will be on Netflix. So, as you're probably listening to this on the first day, I'll probably be sitting in my room watching the fourth season, binge watching it all the way through. I think I'm actually going to be watching right when it comes out at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and sitting all the way through until it ends. I don't know, assuming it's going to be 13 episodes like usual. I keep hearing rumors that there's only going to be 10 episodes and that the final episode is going to be more like a movie rather than like a series where it'll be like an hour and a half long.
Hmm.
But yeah, after that, I had watched the season 2 of the Trailer Park Boys animated series, in which there was talks that WWE superstar Edge was in it, which I seen that and it was funny as hell. Oh, I love that part. It's funny as hell. And yeah, it was overall a pretty great season, actually. And then after Trailer Park Boys animated series, I actually watched the first season that came out on my birthday of the new Space Force Netflix series featuring Steve Carell, in which there are Funko Pops for this that were announced. So we're going to be talking about those in a little bit. And also 2 movies that I watched. One I watched for the first time ever, even though I am basically 10 years late because the 10-year anniversary of this movie is this year. And it's Brian Mariotti's favorite movie, I would assume, of all time, that being Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I don't want to repeat that incident where I said in the world. So it was an all right movie. It was a little confusing, but it was all right. I thought about while watching it possibly doing Scott Pilgrim versus the World as one of our potential TV show / movie related podcasts in the future because the 10th anniversary, I think, is in August, if I'm not mistaken. So it could be the podcast after our next TV show / movie related podcast that will be announced after we talk about the June pops. So there's that. And I watched a movie that we used to talk about this movie all the time. And I can't believe I just randomly thought about it in the middle of my head. I'm just like, I'm going to go watch this movie. So I go on a website, go watch it. I'm going to have you guess and see if you get this. 2 hints, because I feel like if I said the one hint, it could be a bunch of different movies. But hint number 1, the main character's a fat kid and there's a bully.
Those are both the hints?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Angus?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah. I was just, I don't know what triggered me to be like, you know what? I'm going to go watch Angus. So I watched Angus and holy crap, I forgot how much of an awesome movie it is. Imagine
That
Funko Pops for Angus.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That's funny. I completely forgot about that movie. And honestly, like the best hint that you gave me was well, obviously, like it being a fat kid and there being a bully was a pretty good hint. But because you said that we used to talk about it all the time, it kind of just like triggered something in my brain. I'm surprised I even thought of that. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. That would be awesome if there was Funko Pops. Have like Angus, have even God, I forgot his name, but it was freaking Shermanator before he was the Shermanator.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that he was in that movie.
Yeah.
And then obviously there was, who was it? James Vanderbeek. He's the bully in the movie, or at least in high school, he's the bully. So good to watch it again. But yeah, that's all I've been doing the last few weeks. Other than that, I've been watching fellow Funko YouTubers. Obviously, I've been watching some new Funko YouTubers, like shout out to Money's Funko Pops. He's got such great content, honestly. All right, so now we're going to move on to the segment known as Pandem News, which those brand new to the channel, Pandem News is basically a segment where we talk about the latest news involving the current pandemic going on, which if you don't want to hear this segment, we do have a timestamp in the description below, which you can skip this segment onto the next one, which I'm pretty sure will be the last set of May 2020 announcements. So there's actually been quite a bit of news involving the pandemic as of late because we've missed the last couple of weeks due to the Empire Strikes Back podcast a couple weeks ago. And last week when we decided not to do neither the Pandem News or Quentin Quarantino segments because of the amount of Funko Pop announcements. So we've got news from Wednesday, May 13th, all the way until Tuesday, June 2nd. Let's start out Wednesday, May 13th. 4.4 million cases confirmed worldwide, and US surpasses 1.4 million cases. Thursday, May 14th, 4.5 million cases confirmed worldwide. Brazil surpasses 200,000 cases, and Ontario will begin stage 1 of reopening. Friday, May 15th, 4.6 million cases confirmed worldwide, and the federal government extends emergency wage subsidies until the end of August. Saturday, May 16th, 4.7 million cases confirmed worldwide, with the US surpassing 1.5 million cases. Sunday, May 17th, 4.8 million cases confirmed worldwide, and 8,000 people have been quarantined in the northeast China as authorities have battled a new outbreak. Monday, May 18th, India surpasses 100,000 cases, and the first Canadian clinical trials for a potential vaccine has now been approved. Tuesday, May 18th, 4.9 million cases confirmed worldwide, and the Canada-US border closure for non-essential travel has extended for another 30 days. Wednesday, May 20th, 5 million cases confirmed worldwide, and Russia surpasses 300,000 cases. Thursday, May 21st, 5.1 million cases confirmed worldwide. The US surpasses 1.6 million cases, and Peru surpasses 100,000 cases. Friday, May 22nd, 5.2 million cases confirmed worldwide, and the US could have a vaccine by December. Saturday, May 23rd, 5.3 million cases confirmed worldwide. Brazil surpasses 300,000 cases, and museums, libraries, and drive-ins can reopen as early as May 29th. Sunday, May 24th, 5.4 million cases confirmed worldwide, and schools in Australia's New South Wales will reopen as early as May 25th. Monday, May 25th, 5.5 million cases confirmed worldwide, and the US surpasses 1.7 million cases. Tuesday, May 26th, 5.6 million cases confirmed worldwide, and the NHL announced their return to play, in which they're going to go straight to the Stanley Cup playoffs instead of restarting the season, in which it's unknown when that will begin, but it's going to be for the 2020 Stanley Cup. Wednesday, May 27th, 5.7 million cases confirmed worldwide, and Brazil surpasses 400,000 cases. Thursday, May 28th, 5.8 million cases confirmed worldwide, and the US surpasses 100,000 deaths. Friday, May 29th, 5.9 million cases confirmed worldwide. And then over the weekend of May 30th to May 31st, we had reached 6.2 million cases confirmed worldwide. US surpasses 1.8 million cases. Brazil surpasses 500,000 cases. And Russia surpasses 400,000 cases. Monday, June 1st, 6.3 million cases confirmed worldwide, and Chile surpasses 100,000 cases. Tuesday, June 2nd, 6.4 million cases confirmed worldwide, and India surpasses 200,000 cases. All right, so now we're going to move on to the May 2020 Funko Pop announcements, the remaining Funko Pop announcements, which there's only a select few. You'll see on your screen there'd be 5 different pops technically, or 5 different glam shots, but actually 6 different pops now as I think about it. So starting off first, announced on May 27th, we have from the anime One Punch Man, it's 2 variants of the character Garou, in which there will be a common variant and there will be a specialty series exclusive glow-in-the-dark variant that will be released as early as August 2020. Then on May 28th, we have a re-announcement of the Stripes lineup that was previously announced at New York Toy Fair, except that there was a new pop added to it. It was almost like the Back to the Future announcement where they re-announced the pop but then added a new pop to that lineup as an announcement. So we got ourselves here another variant of John Winger, but he's got his hat on, which I should also mention during the last couple of weeks of Quentin Quarantino, I actually did watch Stripes, and it was a pretty good movie. But yeah, anyways, this will be a Walmart exclusive and it's expected to be released as early as either August or September 2020. On my birthday on May 29th, Funko Shop drop of that day was the Fanta clown for the Fanta drink, in which that was released that day at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST on the Funko Shop. And if I'm not mistaken, it is still available to order on the Funko Shop. For some reason, I thought this was going to sell out, but I guess it didn't. Then announced on the same day, we got ourselves the 4th of 6 pops for the Avengers Assemble set, in which we have Thor announced here, in which that's available for pre-order now and is expected to be released as early as July 2020. And last but not least, as we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, for the May 2020 announcements, we have for the Netflix series that just came out this past week, Space Force, we have 4 pops. We got 2 variants of Mark, which is the character played by Steve Carell, in which we have Formal Mark, and then we have a Target exclusive General Mark. Along the way, we have F. Tony Scaramucci, which I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right since I've only watched the show once through, in which that's going to be a Target exclusive. And we have Marcus the Chimstronaut, which that will be a common. And according to both Entertainment Earth and Pop in a Box, these are going to be released as early as January 2021. Starting off with the One Punch Man pops. So these are all right. I mean, I've never seen One Punch Man, nor have I seen a lot of animes, although My Hero Academia, as I've said previously, is on like my watch list. The hair is pretty cool, and the glow in the dark is all right. I mean, of course, the eyes would glow in the dark, and then you got like whatever's coming out of Garou's hands, whether it's like some sort of thing or it's like maybe a swoosh, so they just added that to it. That's blue and it glows in the dark. So I guess that's all right. I'm sure there's people who are hyped for this, but I feel like there's people who aren't hyped for this. The Walmart exclusive John Winger, I guess this is all right. I mean, I feel after watching Stripes, I think they could have made a different character. Like, I think they could have done like the drill sergeant that was in this movie, because there was a lot of funny moments between the drill sergeant and John Winger, aka Bill Murray. But maybe they're saving that for like San Diego Comic-Con or even New York Comic-Con, because there are a lot of rumored pops at the moment for San Diego, in which, speaking of that, we should be getting San Diego Comic-Con exclusive reveals in the next week or two, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully next week's podcast would be on San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. But yeah, this pop's all right. I mean, I'd rather probably just have the common variant rather than this Walmart exclusive variant. The Fanta add icons pop, in which this is pretty cool. I mean, I like the overall design. Not a lot of people knew that there was a mascot for Fanta, or at least this mascot, because I guess there's a different mascot now than the mascot here, because I think this is the original mascot from when Fanta first came out, especially because you can tell from the logo that they are using here, because this Fanta logo looks more like, I don't want to say outdated, but it looks more like the older logo than the newer logo you would see. Let's say if you were walking into, I would assume, Burger King or something, and there's the Fanta options to drink. It's a different logo from that. But the overall outfit and everything, it looks pretty cool. Face is awesome. It's got a mouth. And yeah, it's not a bad pop. The Thor Pop Deluxe. Now, I think if I were to rank all 4 of the Avengers Assemble set currently from worst to best, I'd probably have to say the order for that would be Hawkeye at number 4, Hulk at number 3, Thor at number 2. Iron Man at number 1. That being because the overall outfit detail of Thor is awesome. And then it has the Mjolnir or the Jolnir. I don't know. I still don't know how it's pronounced this day. And I just like the overall base of how this looks. With the Hawkeye that we talked about a few months ago, the only thing really detailed about that is the base because you can see the pipes that are underground. The Hulk is all right, but this thing that brings up the detail for that is like the indent in the cement. But then when you got the Iron Man pop that is the best, you have just the overall pop of Iron Man looks awesome. You have the flames coming from the bottom of like the jetpack or the jet boots or whatever. And then like the smoke going around for that. And I think that's the best one. But this is still a very great one. I know if I'm not mistaken, the next two will most likely be Captain America and Black Widow. And I'm excited to see when those get announced, which obviously, with the trend of how everything's been going with these, it's been when a pop gets announced, it will get released 2 months later. And when that pop gets released, that's when the next announcement happens. So we probably won't get the next announcement until July when this pop gets released. And then you get the announcement for the last one when the other one gets released, I would assume in September. Overall, this is a really great looking pop. Space Force. Now, when I first looked at these pops, the way that these, it's not even glam shots, it's concept art, but especially with like the black outline around them, they looked like pop pins rather than actual pops. I was a huge fan. I'm not going to spoil the show because the fact that it's only been out for a week, as you guys would be listening to this at least. Marcus the Chimstronaut was awesome in this movie. You don't see him much, but Marcus was awesome in this movie. The way that these pops look, they're all right. I mean, I'd like to see them when they're more of glam shots, which we probably won't get any until closer to the end of the year, I assume, especially if these are expected to release in January of 2021 already, which, yeah, those are all right from what I'm looking at the moment.
They do look all right for these concept art. I do need to watch this. It seems pretty interesting, and obviously Steve Carell is an awesome actor, so I will give it a shot, and then I'll probably have a better opinion on what I think about these concept arts at least. And I'm excited to see what they actually look like with the glam shots. The Thor, I would say this Thor is probably my favorite one out of these Avenger pops so far. I really like Thor, and I do think this one looks really good. I really want to get these, and it kind of sucks that they're taking so long to come out because I kind of want to buy them all like around the same time. I don't want to buy one and then have to go get another, and then so on and so forth. I'd rather just go to a con and be able to be like, oh, here's a vendor who has 4 of them. I'm going to buy them. And then here's a vendor that has 2 of them, or 2 other vendors that have one or the other, and get them all on the same day. So I'll probably wait to do that. Then the Fanta ad icon. This is really cool. I am a huge fan of ad icons. I do think this one looks pretty cool, and it does have that kind of vintage aspect to it. The colors look great. I just hope it doesn't shoot up in price drastically or anything. Did it even sell out on the Funko app?
I had just mentioned when I was talking about this that I'm pretty sure it didn't sell out yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Then the one from Stripes. This is all right. You said this is like a hat variant, though, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just wearing like a cap you'd be given in the army.
Yeah, so for that reason, it's kind of just meh. Like you said, they probably could have done a different character, which I would assume fans would be more excited to see. Then the One Punch Man pop. This one's actually pretty cool. The eyes glowing yellow is kind of weird in a sense because on the common, his eyes are black. So with the glow in the dark, his eyes are obviously yellow, which is kind of just weird in my opinion if you're looking at it in the light without the glow in the dark aspect. But besides that, I think it does look all right. It's pretty subtle, so it's not too over drastic, I guess.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our segment, The Update. So for those that are brand new to the channel, The Update is a segment in which we look back at our top 10 list that we would do basically the week previous, depending on what's happened in our podcast schedule. And it gives a chance for pops that we didn't get to talk about during our top 10 list a chance to make it to our top 10 list pretty much. We're giving the chance now to see if any of the pops we had just mentioned, so the One Punch Man, Stripes, Fanta, Thor, and the Space Force pops, to see if they would make the top 10 list for May 2020. We'll start off like usual with MD and see if his top 10 list is updated or not updated and why.
All right, so for my updated list, there's only one pop that makes the list, and I'm sure you guys and DK can probably guess who that is, and it is the Fanta ad icon. And I think I would just put it at number 10, and it would be replacing the Kraken pop.
I kind of figured it was, at least when I was looking at these, it was either going to be Fanta or no pops at all. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking, because a lot of these, and I'll say for mine right now, I almost put Fanta on the list, but I feel that the Fanta had a little bit of good hype, but it had bad hype also. And I feel that my number 10, which for some reason I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'm more than certain my number 10 had more hype than the Fanta did. And there wasn't so much bad hype to it. So my list, I don't think it's the first time, but it's one of the very select few times that my list actually doesn't update. So my top 10 list will stay the same. So obviously, I'll put a little suggestion thingy above for last week's episode for you guys to listen to our top 10 list on last week's podcast. So, yep, that's basically it. Fanta is now on MD Shady's list at number 10. All right, so now we're going to move on to the June 2020 Funko Pop announcements, which there is only 2 announcements so far for June, which is understandable because of the facts that we had a lot of Funko Pop announcements the last few weeks, especially with the Funko Ween in May announcements. Plus, I think it's going to be a little slowing down for the moment because of the fact that very soon we will be getting San Diego Comic-Con exclusive pops, because we are reaching pretty much close to mid-June, which is when they usually announce them. So it's a little bit understandable, but right now, the 2 pops that were announced, starting off on June 2nd, we have a metallic variant of Izuku Midoriya. Hopefully I pronounced that name right, from My Hero Academia, in which, like I said, it's a metallic variant. Pop Culture had announced this pop on their website as just a normal exclusive, but I think later on this month, it will be released in the US/Canada, and I think it's going to be an FYE exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. So therefore, in Canada, it's going to be either Toys R Us and or Sunrise Records exclusive. It's available now internationally, but like I said, it's expected to hit up Canada and the US sometime this month, unknown of what exactly the date is yet. And then June 3rd, GameStop had announced their own exclusive Masters of the Universe Funko box that will actually feature a flocked He-Man pop, in which that entire box, according to their website, is going to be released as early as December 2020. All right, so starting with the My Hero Academia pop, because there are only 2 pops that we get to talk about for June so far. So the My Hero Academia pop, it looks all right. I mean, I know they did a normal variant a while back. I think maybe in one of the first sets that they've ever did for My Hero Academia. I like kind of like the tealy green outfit. And the metallic effect, though, it's all right. I mean, I don't think it really needed to be metallic, but of course, Funko, you got a license. You are going to try to make as much variance with the same molds without having to make new molds at a time. And they did a metallic variant, which I guess it's all right. Like realistically, with like a suit, especially if it's an armored suit, I guess metallic does make sense. But I'll have more of an opinion when I see this pop in person. And then we got the box here, which you guys won't be able to see the whole box, but we have the photos of what's in the box, which we'll kind of discuss about it, which the flocked He-Man pop, I kind of understand that this kind of makes sense because of the boots and kind of the lower part of the outfit would be flocked, which is all right. But at the same time, did it really need to be flocked? Once again, it's the situation that I just mentioned where Funko has a license for something and they want to utilize it as much as possible. So if that means that they're going to have to make a flocked variant, a diamond collection variant, a glow in the dark variant, then they basically will do that. So the He-Man is all right. I do like the He-Man kind of better than the Izuku pop from My Hero Academia. And then the overall box, which we will talk about, the Pez is all right. I do like the glow-in-the-dark pop pen. I think that's really cool that, you look at it, it's white, but then at night, or if you put a UV black light to it, it's green. I think that's really cool. That's probably one of my favorite parts of this whole box. The pin looks all right, too. And then the box is really nice. I mean, I think the best part of the box is the pop pen, just because it glows in the dark and it looks cool. But the pop itself is all right.
So the Izuku Midoriya, I believe is how it would be pronounced. I don't mind this one. It looks alright with the metallic. I would assume, like you said, because it's kind of like an outfit like that, that it makes some sense to be metallic. But at the same time, it's kind of just a meh pup in my opinion. The He-Man I do really like, and I know that there is some good hype over this pop so far that I've seen. One thing that I do wish is that maybe the hair was also flocked, because I feel like just the boots and the what would you call it, the loincloth, it's just not that much of flocking when we've seen pops that are either completely flocked or most of it being flocked. So I think maybe the hair, but at the same time, it might not look good with the hair. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss up. But I will say that if I had to buy one He-Man pop, which I mean, I guess I already do have a He-Man pop. If I were to get just a normal outfit He-Man pop, I would want this flocked one because it's just a little bit cooler in my opinion.
All right, so that's it for June 2020 Funko Pop announcements, at least this week. But now we are here to announce the next TV show / movie related podcast, which in April we did Yu-Gi-Oh! In May we did Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. And now we have our third TV show / movie related podcast, which we will say it is a movie. So our next movie related podcast is going to be on Back to the Future. That's right. One of my favorite movie series. I'm very excited for this. And we're going to have a couple of polls on our Instagram page. One of them will be deciding on whether you guys want to hear us talk about just the first movie or all three of the movies in the Back to the Future trilogy. And the other one is deciding the name of the podcast. That will happen actually 4 weeks from today on Friday, July 3rd, our 45th episode of a Funko Popcast. And it just so happens, actually, July 3rd is the actual date of the 35th anniversary of Back to the Future. So it's such perfect timing to do this podcast on that. And we will also do content throughout the week, like we done with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Empire Strikes Back, where all the content on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be strictly on Back to the Future. So can't wait for that week. All right, guys, so that's going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you're enjoying the content being provided to you guys on this channel, including this podcast. Comment in the comment section below. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future. And press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And also, if you haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, thank you all for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.